The launch of Hypixel's Woolwars has not exactly been among the smoothest in the server's history. It was originally implemented as a prototype game mode for the server, but 2 months after its original release, it was released as a standalone experience for players to engage with. This game mode was the first PvP-based standalone Hypixel game mode since the release of Bedwars, and it started off with a pretty disastrous launch. If you would like to learn more about that specifically, you can check out this video here. In the top right corner, you'll find the annotation. Woolwars has received some life recently, with the release of a brand new update that gave it a bit more content. Can it redeem the cringeworthy launch that it underwent? What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite blue guy here. You might want to consider subscribing to the channel before we get started if you haven't already. It goes a long way and it really is appreciated by me. If you don't subscribe, you may miss out on a fantastic giveaway later. Now, it's no secret that I'm still very confused by the team's decision to push this game mode out as a standalone so quickly, and I've been quite open about it, in multiple videos actually. But a couple of days ago, I was surprised to see that Woolwars got a full update, version 1.2, which was quite unexpected to me at first. Honestly, I have to imagine how unhappy the team must be with the result of the launch of Woolwars, and it would not surprise me in the slightest if they were kicking themselves over how poorly it went. As far as I'm concerned, the announcement of an update means that they didn't throw it away in the landfill, which is always a reassurance no matter what the update is about in the end. There will be no repeat of Tower Wars here. Since the game was released over half a year ago, I believe that this is the first real full update for the game as a standalone, so there's definitely been a long time since then. Now, I fully believe that any game can be redeemed at any time, and while the player numbers of Woolwars are similar to the attendance of a Limp Bizkit concert, a good update with the right new features can bring them back into the fold. Now it's time to actually get down to the meat of the update itself, so let's jump right in. The game needed to be updated with new content and new game mechanics, as I mentioned in my previous Woolwars video, so as to keep things fresh and to offer variety to new players. This would allow the game to provide a better experience for them. Perhaps there could be some new modes, new items, etc. New maps, as I had stated, would not count towards this goal. Adding new maps to this update was not going to be enough to fix the game mode, and what is the majority of the newly added content in this update? New maps. 8 to be exact. Okay, the thing is, adding new maps to the game and saying that you added content to it is the same thing as burning a cake, covering it in frosting to hide the fact that it's burned, and then drowning it in even more frosting when someone notices that the cake is burnt. The frosting on this cake can be as thick as you like, but eventually people will get through the frosting, and then what will they find when they get to the middle? A burnt cake. Yes, folks, the game still has a number of core issues that need to be addressed, and this update hasn't done anything to fix them. The prestige icons may be able to benefit players who've already had some experience in the game, but they won't be able to make the game itself more interesting. And it's true that these new cage cosmetics look slick, but once more, it's just extra frosting that doesn't unburn the cake. The only real good things that came in this update were bug fixes, which you guys know I always enjoy. Here are the only gameplay changes that were announced. You can now get a new power-up that gives you 3 seconds of haste, which is completely useless for Woolwars, by the way, and 3 seconds of fall damage immunity for the beginning of the game, but that is all you get. By the way, it took 8 months for these changes to be implemented. Did I mention that? That's not good enough for me. Woolwars is not going to be fixed by this update. I mean, the team has to be aware of this, right? This wouldn't be as infuriating if the team wasn't already capable of incorporating these same things into their PvP games. I mean, look at Bedwars. Item rotation was just brought back, and that game mode's getting new items every single week. Are they simply not going to try with Woolwars because they've already given up on it? In that case, there'd be no sense in spending time adding tons of new maps and cosmetics with only a minimal amount of real change being made. Honestly, if the team really tried hard enough, they could make Woolwars, and frankly any game on the network, highly successful again if they put their minds to it. Also, I would like to make it clear that none of my ire is directed at the build team in any way. There's always a lot of effort put into the maps the build team makes, and it isn't them that I'm criticizing here. Having just been told to build the maps, it's their job, so they did it, and they did a great job in the process. But it is what it is. Adding extra maps will not make the cake go away, and eventually people will be able to see through the frosting. Well, let's hope that the third time will be the charm and it'll work out. What are your thoughts on this Woolwars update? Are you a fan of it? Do you share my opinion, or do you have a different stance? Let me know in the comments below. I do hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like if you did, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.